So the talk of the Formula One town at the moment is regarding McLaren and a bit of a surprise announcement that they're going to try and overturn the penalty that was applied to Lando Norris after the United States Grand Prix. So for those that haven't seen, for those who've kind of been living under a rock, quite frankly, for this last week or so, if you're a Formula One fan anyway, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen were battling for third position at the United States Grand Prix last weekend. Lando Norris was desperately trying to overtake Verstappen, Lando Norris really needing to gain points on his title rival to keep the championship battle alive, quite frankly. And then with a few laps remaining, Lando Norris was pushed wide by Max Verstappen. Some might say he was running wide anyway. And they both went off the track, and Lando Norris completed the overtake off the track. And that was the main reason behind Lando Norris getting a penalty, because he didn't give the position back. He asked his team whether he should give the place back or not. His team said no, keep racing, and then he tried to get a 5-second gap over Max Verstappen, and he almost managed it, in fairness. He was about 4.1 seconds ahead of the Dutchman over the line. But anyway, 5-second penalty applied to his time, lost the place as a result. It's effectively a 6-point swing the other way, because instead of gaining 3 points, he's lost 3 points to his title rival, and also he dropped points to him in the sprint race as well. So the title battle almost feels it's not quite Roy Orbison time, as my dad would say. It's not quite over yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and those 6 points would make a massive difference. So McLaren are trying to bid to change the outcome of that race. They're trying to get the penalty rescinded. Now there's going to be a hearing later today on Friday as I record this, and I just wanted to kind of cover what's been said about this, what's likely to happen, and just kind of go from there really. So there's a full article here on skysportsnews.com that kind of goes through it. So let's just see what's been happening here and what is likely to happen. And I'll give my take and my opinion on what I think is going to happen. So McLaren have launched a bid to overturn the penalty Lando Norris received for his overtake on title rival Max Verstappen during the United States Grand Prix. Norris received a 5-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining a lasting advantage after using the runoff area to pass Red Bull's Max Verstappen for third place during the closing stages of Sunday's race in Austin. The penalty demoted Norris, who finished 4.1 seconds ahead of Verstappen on the road, back down to 4th place, and resulted in the latter's driving championship lead increasing to 57 points with 5 rounds of the season remaining. The decision proved highly contentious, with McLaren arguing that Norris was left with no option but to go off track as Verstappen broke late and also ran wide and off track at turn 12. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella said immediately after the race in Austin the team would not appeal the decision due to the fact that he thought he would be unable to satisfy the requirement of providing significant and relevant new evidence that was unavailable at the time of the decision. However, with their 96-hour window following the event set to expire, McLaren stunned the paddock on Thursday evening at this weekend's Mexico City Grand Prix by submitting a petition for right of review on the penalty. The stewards confirmed the first part of the hearing will take place at 2:30 p.m. local time, which is 9:30 tonight in the UK, which is, I believe, between Free Practice 1 and Free Practice 2. So we're going to hear a lot about this in the commentary in Free Practice 1, no doubt, at which McLaren will attempt to convince the stewards that they have discovered new evidence. If McLaren are successful in doing so, a second part of the hearing will take place at a time yet to be advised. I hope it'll be before the weekend gets underway for the race. I know the practice obviously will be going by then, but you don't want to be going into the Mexican Grand Prix, the actual race itself, not knowing what the championship gap is. That's not great, really. Representative from Verstappen's Red Bull team will also be in attendance at the first part of the hearing. The debate around the incident raged on at Thursday's media day in Mexico City, with Norris claiming Verstappen's tactics are incorrect and the Dutchman is insisting that he's just following the rules. The drivers are set to discuss the incident at a meeting in Mexico City on Friday evening, with Norris gaining support from the likes of Lewis Hamilton on Thursday in his suggestion that the sport's overtaking guidelines need tweaking. Well, this is the thing, and there's a lot to unpack here, so I'm just going to try and go through as much as I can, really, so basically, there is precedent for this in the sense that race results can change post-race, a long time after the race. The one that comes to mind immediately for me, and I can't remember exactly when this decision was made, but I remember that the trophy handing over was done about a week later. So the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix, which I know to most F1 fans these days is ancient history, but it is applicable to this in a sense, because at the time Kimi Raikkonen was given the victory, but later on it was actually confirmed by Jordan upon appeal that Giancarlo Fisichella won the race. There was confusion about the red flag and what distance they actually ran to, because the leader of that race changed hands late on. Interestingly, Fisichella's car actually caught fire in the pit lane after, so he wouldn't have finished. It went to full distance anyway. That was a crazy race. Look up that race. Massive crash for Alonso as well in that. Lucky man for sure. But anyway, let's keep on 2024. Let's stop harking on about the past. Yeah. So when it comes to this, there is precedent in the sense that these results can change a long time after the actual fact. I think it's a bit of a shame in a sense, just because you want to go into each race weekend knowing what the situation in the championship is, and it is possible, although I think unlikely, but it is possible that this second hearing, if it gets to a second hearing, is going to be after the actual Mexican Grand Prix race, which is a real shame, because you're not going to know what's happening in the championship. It'd be a shame if it happened even after qualifying, because it's like, well, Verstappen needs to get on pole position because he's got this point gap in the championship, or whatever. You just want to know where you stand. And I've already had my say on the incident, and I understand why the stewards are given the penalty. I think the bigger question really is, do the rules need changing around overtaking? And I would hazard a guess, at an absolute minimum, just like Sir Lewis Hamilton has suggested, that they need to be looked at, potentially being altered, because for me, according to the wording of the rules, Max Verstappen didn't do anything wrong. The problem is that Norris overtook off the track. Now, the big question mark for me personally comes around, is it right for Verstappen to maintain a place while going off the track? Is it right that the stewards get involved with that? I mean, I said at the time that there shouldn't have been a penalty, personally, because they've both run off the track. Neither of them made the corner. Therefore, for me, it's fair game. Personally, that's just my opinion. But according to the rules, if you overtake off the track, it's a penalty. You have to give it back. If you don't give it back, you get a penalty. So that's why you got a penalty. But what is this significant evidence that McLaren are alluding to here? So just like with legal cases and civil cases here in the UK, and I imagine most of the world, to be able to appeal a decision that has already been made, you have to have significant evidence to back up your claim that it should be a different outcome. What the evidence is, I don't know. They might be comparing Max Verstappen's lines, Max Verstappen's braking points, on that lap when Norris overtook him, compared to when he actually was braking normally or defending normally for the corner. That might be it. It could also be comparing it to other cases. I mean, there's controversy about it, of course, but think about Alonso in Saudi Arabia last year, where he was initially stripped of his podium because of a penalty. Then Aston Martin showed evidence that another team in the past had done the same thing as them and got unpunished, and therefore Alonso's penalty was rescinded. I know there's controversy about MBS and everything. I've already done a video about that at the time, but there is precedent for it in that sense. So I am intrigued and fascinated, and I just hope it's resolved before we start, before lights out at the Mexican Grand Prix on Sunday night. I hope it's just sorted out before then, because if it's not, then we're kind of in unknown territory here. But yeah, what do you guys think about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And guys, I apologise for the camera quality as well. This video will likely be in 4K as normal, but I did not put my external light on because I didn't think it was this dark in my room, but it is. It's the middle of the day here in the UK, but it's October time, so it's foggy and not very nice, to be honest. So yeah, for the other videos I'll do, I'll get the lights on for sure, even though it's daytime. Welcome to England, I guess. But yeah, let us know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Should the penalty have stood? Should it have not? Should Max Verstappen get a penalty even? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, keep it subscribed, like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell as well. And we'll see you very soon here on the F1 Chronicle, guys. Have a good one.